So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Villa fans, and welcome to the Love of Paul McGrath podcast on the final whistle reaction to Aston Villa versus Liverpool. And it was a right game of football. I think that's fair to say. That was a proper game of football, a proper Premier League game of football. And both teams were in it. Both teams were looking to win it. Both teams were had their purple patches, and both teams had their had times where they had to dig hard, and with their backs to the wall and defend. And you know, I would have loved it if it was 2-1 Villa or 3-2 to Villa, if Daniel Mallon's shot goes in at the end or Morgan Rogers' shot goes in at the end. But that wasn't to be, and Villa pick up a point against the league leaders today, which could very, very much so have been 3 points on a different day. I think both teams will probably look back at this and Room missed chances. Well, they definitely will. Darwin Núñez missed from 7 yards out, and Jota could have had one in the first half. But then obviously Aston Villa had the ball in the net twice, being ruled offside for Rashford's goal in the first half, deflected in off Van Dijk, and Jacob Ramsey, who had a brilliant finish, but it just didn't time his run in the second half. So, you know, the competitive nature of Aston Villa against top teams like Liverpool is, I'm not going to say it's undeniable, but it's always there. And you know, Paddy's here, and I think he's probably going to say, even maybe I won't put words in his mouth, but Paddy, I'll bring you in before I say it. That a game like that today, you know, you play like that on Saturday and you beat Ipswich quite comfortably, but unfortunately we didn't, and we play like that today, and we still could have come out of it with 3 points against Liverpool, I think. What's your view?
I think we've got to be just happy with what we have tonight, to be honest. I think it's a fair result overall. Could have been a lot different. They were there for the taking, I thought, but we're just not firing enough to get that. We rode our luck a little bit with the chances they created, and then obviously we had that big chance at the end, which could have, two big chances, Malin one side of the post and Rogers over the bar. And but Rogers should have done better. Should have done better. But Malin's was a lot more difficult. Yeah, look, it was a good performance. As you rightly said, I would come on and I'd say, why didn't we play like that at the weekend? It would have been a whole lot different. The reason we didn't play like that at the weekend is because Ipswich shut up shop and we can't play through them. So it's all got to do with who you're playing against. They leave gaps. We will get into those gaps and we will get chances. We didn't get them against Ipswich. That's football. That's modern day football. We have to put up with it, and I'm happy with the point.
Talk about the goals that we scored, Paddy. We'll talk about the goals we conceded in a moment, because look, as I said, Twitter was aghast. That was a pretty poor back pass from Andres Garcia, who I thought was absolutely playing brilliantly prior to that. But we'll get to that in a moment. But the 2 goals we scored, Paddy. First goal was Tielemans. First goal was there. It was Rashford's deflected shot. No, there was the ball in the back of the net 4 times, and I got confused with Tielemans. Something we haven't done an awful lot, I suppose, really, from free kicks, is get to that second ball, or make sure that second ball gets squirty and dirty. God knows we should be good at it, because we can see it enough from down the other end, so we should know how other teams do it. But that ball squirts around inside in the area, and Tielemans puts his foot through, kicks it down into the ground, into the back of the net. Would you have had Tielemans scoring on your bingo card today, Paddy?
No, absolutely not. I wasn't expecting him to pop up at the back post like that, but sure, look, we'll take anything at this stage. It's good to see goals coming from him. I think that's only his second league goal this season. As you rightly say, go for every second ball, cause a bit of carnage, and all of a sudden the ball squirts out to him, and for once it falls for us to score one of them, because it feels like we've let in a lot of them. But a special word for Youri Tielemans, because he was by far and away the best player on the pitch. He was absolutely phenomenal again tonight.
It was great.
You know, when we need people to step up, and like John McGinn, a couple of mistakes in there early doors, But I thought the two of them were excellent tonight. John McGinn ran himself absolutely into the ground, and deserves some plaudits and deserves to be told that those two passes early in the game were unacceptable too. And it's the fine lines. You mentioned Garcia then. Either of John McGinn's could have ended up in a goal, and unfortunately for Garcia, his did. I really like him. I found when Matty Cash come on, we were a lot slower down that side. It's almost like Matty Cash is playing for the percentages as opposed to taking risks and getting and doing the beating of the player and trying to get the ball into the box like Garcia is, and that's what he was brought in to do. So for me, attacking wise, he's a better option. Defensively, has a lot to learn, but I think he could be a big player for us going forward.
Yeah, I think he's a cracking player. Really do. When you come from having, like, I think was it like, I could be wrong, and this was at 1,800 minutes in the Spanish second league. Bring him in. Look, the fan favorite was Kostan Nedeljkovic. We've shipped him out. Looks like he's probably going to go on a permanent deal in the summer. And Unai got a guy that he obviously knew an awful lot about. Obviously had his eyes on. And look, he was thrown in the deep end. I don't think Unai would have wanted to throw him in as early into his Aston Villa career, but he's been really, really, really useful in that right back position. He didn't. Yeah. I like. Look, you have to take everything in context. If you think that he's going to be Kyle Walker, well, then nothing we're going to say here is going to make you feel better about Andres Garcia. But I thought that for a young guy, like when you see him, when he passes the ball back, immediately he puts his hands in his head. He tries to run back and he just stops. And at that stage, the ball's in the back of the net and he drops to his knees with his hands in his head. The young guy can go to smithereens there. I don't think he did.
And there was a lot of people calling for him to be taken off at half time. That would have absolutely killed him, in my opinion. The last thing you need is to be called out like that. Like if we called out every player,
especially when he wasn't playing poorly up until the pass, and I know it's pass to the pass.
And as I said previously, McGinn did it twice. He did it once. He got caught out badly. That's the way the ball hops. Definitely saw signs of what that young man is capable of, especially in advanced positions. He offered us so much in the first half down that side, and he is going to be a player, and I truly believe that. What were we talking about before that? Got sidetracked. We were on goals, and I brought him up.
We were on goals. Yeah, we're speaking about first goal, and Youri Tielemans being. You said he was man of the match. I think I'd have to agree with that as well. It's been a long road for Youri Tielemans. He's looking around that dressing room, going, "Lads, would anyone of you get fucking fit there, please, so I can have 20 minutes off at the end of a game?" Like, the man has turned into an Iron Man, just consistently playing game after game after game as much as he can. Like today, McGinn comes off, Lamar Bogart comes on in midfield, and Tielemans is in there for 90 minutes. And I know I haven't checked the statistics, how many 90 minutes he completed and stuff like that, but he's been more or less than ever present in there. And in this time of need where we are down central midfielders, he keeps on churning out these 7.5, 8 out of 10 performances. And you have to say that, like, he went through a patch where 1 or 2 games he was poor, but like he's reaping the rewards of the faith that Unai Emery is putting him in there, and he got his goal today, and I'm absolutely delighted for him. Let's talk about the second goal, Paddy. I think the second goal is a brilliant goal. I think it's a really well worked goal.
Goal is fantastic. Yeah,
the amount of work both Luca Dean and Ollie Watkins do. Dean to get into that position, and Watkins actually is involved in the build up twice before he gives the ball out to Luca Dean, and then gets in and gets ahead of his man and gets the head in the ball. Talk to me about it, Paddy. Yeah. What did you think?
Everything about it was perfect. It was lovely little passing going on, and if you watch Ollie Watkins' movement for the header, he drops back into the hole and knows that he's got to attack the space, and he's just saying to Luca Dean, put it there, and you're just waiting, go on, do it. And he attacks it. Brilliant header. Absolutely brilliant header as well. Fantastic goal. Brilliant cross, fantastic goal. And credit where it's due. The work in the build-up is absolutely everything you want your players to be involved in.
I think so. I was, and to be honest with you, like, you're kind of at that stage of the game, you're like, let's get in 1-1. Okay, let's get in 1-1 here and see what we can do. I think Jota was after just plowing one over the bar where he should have scored. And, look, at Aston Villa, we always are at our most vulnerable just before halftime, just after halftime. and we were the one who went away and did the scoring. And it put us in a buoyant mood as we went in at half time. But the Villa fan and all of us were kind of like, Twitter was aghast. I even said it ourselves. Like, it was like, Liverpool are at the most fierce when they're a wounded animal. And you like, I suppose realistically speaking, I expected it. If we were even 2-1 up, I was like, if we're going to win this, we're probably going to have to win it 3-2. That was my thoughts at halftime, and it very nearly happened. I'm going to, for full disclosure, I did not see Liverpool's second goal because my extremely 100% legal box that I watched the game on just decided it didn't want to work for about the 4.5 minute period, and I missed the goal, Paddy. So you're going to have to explain the Liverpool's second goal from Trent, because I just didn't see it.
Well, I'll tell you what irked me about the goal. They were talking about a ridiculous handball for us earlier in the game with John McGinn had the ball hand down by his side, and it was 7 or 8 fucking passes before the ball ends up in the back of the net. The referee gives an advantage for us up in the top corner. Can't remember who it was fouled. Might have been
Rodgers? I think someone said.
I think someone said on Twitter it was Rodgers, maybe. Plays it to Watkins and it doesn't stick. And at that point, the referee should have said, no advantage, free kick. And he doesn't. He fucking bottles it like he did with a lot of decisions tonight. The ball breaks into midfield. Alexander shoots, comes off, probably going wide. Judging by the trajectory of it, comes off Tyrone Mings' foot and goes up over Emi Martinez. Had it covered, it was on target, probably going wide. Very disappointing to concede it. But I'm annoyed at the referee's decision. Just give the fucking free kick. Like, why is there just, the ball is in the corner. It's not going anywhere. Give the free kick. This thing about having to play advantage. When it suits them, mind you. You see, they pick and choose when they play advantage, and I was annoyed at it. But look, you can't. It's very hard to be annoyed having drawn with Liverpool tonight, considering how we gifted them the first goal and we got back into it and got to 2-2, and worked hard and saw that there's fight there, and it was a better watch than most games have been since Christmas. It was open, it was expansive, it was stretched. And that's the kind of football we like to watch, as opposed to Ipswich sitting with 11 men behind the ball. And there's nothing we can do about that. Absolutely nothing we can do about it. We're going to have to be patient. And as fans, we're going to have to get behind the team when we're in that position, because it'll come around and around and around when we play teams in the bottom half of the table. We did well tonight. We've showed what we can do when we get our chances, we're taking them. Chances not being a congested box and a game of pinball. Which is what you're hoping for against the likes of Ipswich at the weekend. So I'm pleasantly surprised at how we came back tonight from that conceding that first goal to get the 2-1 up at halftime was brilliant. And even at that stage, I would have taken a draw. So happy with the draw, not too down on anybody in particular. Thought the referee was very fussy, one way, very fussy. Couple of questionable calls as well, given corners that weren't corners. So then again, what do we expect when we're paying one of the greedy six? These things do happen. So I think there's a lot to be proud of. I think Unai Emery would be happy enough at that point. I think he would have taken it before it started. The big test now is at the weekend. Can we go and build on this? Because we need 3 points at the weekend. It's an absolute must that we get 3 points. If we're still dreaming about European football on Sunday morning, it will mean we've gone and beaten Chelsea. Simple as that. If we don't beat Chelsea, we're falling further and further behind. That's a game now that people will play a load of games in March when we won't have any game on that weekend. So we'll be sitting back watching people making ground on us. So we need to go and win on Saturday, and we need to go and beat Crystal Palace next week. So anyway, we said that at the start of this week that we probably needed 4 or 5 points. The 4 points are still up for grabs. I just didn't anticipate that we'd be going to look for a win against Chelsea to get those 4 points. But a draw is a good result all round, I think. I don't think Liverpool will be too happy with it, but I think they weren't firing on full tilt for me, and they could have very easily have lost the game. So, yeah. There you are. I've gone around in circles and I'm back to the start.
I slightly disagree with you when you say that they weren't firing on full tilt. I think that we were more combative in midfield. I thought Asensio ran his socks off. I know people are going to look at it and go, well, it didn't really do much from a creative point of view. Spent a lot of time back in the 8th position as opposed to the 10. And I think, like, put it this way, if anybody goes back and watches that game, Dominic Szoboszlai was like, he didn't get on the ball an awful lot. We kept him kind of quiet. Curtis Jones kind of went out of it after 20 minutes, half an hour. Gravenberch was very good. I think in midfield, I think we did very well in midfield. Do you know what actually I thought was very good? Do you know I thought was really good was Axel Disasi. Thought he was really good. Thought he looked combative. Look, did he stumble over the ball a couple of times? He did, but he won it back. You know, I thought he was very combative. I thought he was very thought he, you know, his range of passing was on show as well today. Able to pass the ball. I was not afraid of having the ball on the ground. But look, I suppose we didn't allow them to have Salah break free and have yards and yards and yards to canter in there. I thought Dean did a good job on that, and he was wrecked when he came off. He looked absolutely wrecked. So I think Unai's, you're right when you said Unai got his tactics, I think, spot on today. And look, I think both teams will go and think we could have won that one today. And I suppose that's probably where we go. A draw is the fairest result. Paddy, if we beat Chelsea at the weekend, and look, without thinking further forward, I'm going to do that thing. I'm only doing this because, look, this is what we'll be saying. You beat Chelsea at the weekend and you get your 3 points, and we gain those 3 points on Chelsea. People are going to say, flip it around, and if we beat Ipswich and draw with Chelsea and draw with Liverpool, would everybody have been happy? And that's the kind, like, I hate those arguments. I'm only doing this to say, because it will be said if we do beat Chelsea. And I kind of hate those arguments because it takes all the context out of the games and just focuses on the positions of teams within the league. But it is paramount that we beat Chelsea at the weekend if we have, because the 5 points becomes, let me just check the point. Oh gosh, where's that got that? So we're 39, Chelsea are 43. So it's 4 points, and Chelsea still have a game in hand. 7 points with a game in hand becomes insurmountable in 5th place, or in 6th place, I think. Well, to 5th place, to Bournemouth, because they're in the same amount of points as Chelsea. I think it becomes insurmountable. So, and now that Man City don't have Europe to be worrying about as well, they're going to be guaranteed a top 4 position. I would imagine. I would imagine. That's just getting big in there. We're better than City. We're a better team than City. That just proves it.
Yeah. Look, I think it would be wrong if we didn't mention the horrible little shit that's Alexis McAllister and the antics of him tonight. What? Like, there should be a drinking game that you have to take a drink every time he is on the floor. Like, you'd be pissed at the end of the game. It's an absolute disgrace. And that wrestling before the ball came into the box and giving a free out, he couldn't have seen the contact. Couldn't have, unless he got X-ray vision. And then the same thing happens to Mings. And what's he say? That's okay. You take the corner. It's fine. Take the corner again. Double standards. Absolute double standards. No two ways about it.
I don't remember McAllister being one of these players that just rolls around all the time. I could be wrong.
I don't watch him. As you well know, I have stopped watching football because of the fucking shit that goes on. Unless I've got skin in the game, I don't watch it. I just have no interest because all I'm doing is looking at what a referee is going to do, and he's usually blowing against the team that's outside the Big Six. It's a joke, really. So I can't watch it. I can't watch the shithousery that goes on in the games. So unless I've got skin in the game, I'm not going to watch it. So I haven't watched Alexis McAllister this year, other than the game we played in Anfield, and he certainly didn't come across as being that type of player. But diving on the ball and then hurting your ribs because you dive on the ball, give me a fucking break. Christ Almighty.
Jesus, PSV. Sorry, Paddy, I am listening to you, but I'm getting notifications all over there. PSV 2-1 up against Juventus. That would be Juventus gone as well. It'd be 3. No, it wouldn't. Yes, it
No,
would.
it's 3-all.
Because
It's 3-all.
3-all, but
on
PSV, PSV will have the away goal going into extra time.
Mm.
Yes, we might wrap this up. I want to watch that. PSV, fair play to them. Fair play to them.
What about PSG winning 7-0 with 7 different goal scorers?
Don't mind that. They're only playing short tits. I was hoping you'd say that. That would lined up from a mile away. Yeah. Interesting though. Interesting. And you know what? People can talk about the Champions League format. You put yourself into jeopardy as a big team. City get Real Madrid. Real Madrid put 3 in them, and City look, like lambs against lions in that game. Juventus now, obviously they're not out of it, but their PSV are putting it up to them. You know, if Juventus do go on to lose that game, there will be a lot of people lose a lot of money in the rackets on that one. I think, specifically with with Juventus being with Juventus holding a 2-1 lead in that game as well. Anyway, let's not dwindle on those too long. Paddy, there's a Y in the day, so we have to mention the potential for defensive catastrophe. An injury catastrophe again. I don't want to be somebody who says this, but I think Tyrone Mings played the last 25 minutes of that game with something wrong with him. And we're not going to have it. No, I could be wrong.
He did get a kick.
Yeah.
The ball across to the back post. He was caught. I'm hoping that it was just an impact injury. My big concern is how far off is Ezri Konsa, or do we have to play Bogard at centre half at the weekend? Because we all know we don't have Disasi.
Well, but that's my thing. Like, if we can't play Disasi, Mings is out, and no Kamara, and Konsa is out. What in the fuck are we doing at centre half? Like, genuinely, it could be Digne and Bogard, and I'm terrified. No. I'm after eating almost a whole wheel of blue cheese. Yes, I'm that type of creep when I watch the game. Nobody would have guessed that, I bet you. And I don't know whether it's that, but when I said it there, I got a tremble in my stomach. You know, at the fact that no, I'm not doom mongering here. Obviously, Mings could be fine, but I did think that he was hobbling a bit for the last 20 minutes. And we just can't seem to catch a break there. So fingers crossed and say 5 novenas tonight. I think Mings did play well, and I did see that he ran up the field and he was twisting around this. But
I didn't notice. The only reason I contradicted you was because I saw him get the kick, and after that he looked like he was.
Oh no, it could be a kick. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, will the gods be good to us that he's not out?
But if he was anyway injured, I don't believe he does those Cruyff turns at the end and puts any type of pressure on himself. Richard said a bit of a dead leg there. I think the contact was with the knee. I thought it was a kick in the knee. The way he was holding himself, I thought it was a dead leg. But I think when the replay showed it was on the knee. But he could have had a dead leg from earlier on it. I'm not too worried about him. I'm more worried about what we do at right centre back, because I think we do need Ezri Konsa back at the weekend.
We just play Martinez. We put Olsen in goals. Play Martinez at play Martinez centre half. See sliding tackle. Let's do it. Let's just do it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anything else you want to talk about there, Paddy?
We talk about Nunez miss.
Yeah, look.
Now I'm going to say this, right. Just let me say this, right. I know I give out about Ollie Watkins, but I would have a serious pain in my bollocks if I had to watch him every week. He is fucking pathetic. He's absolutely. The irony is they just took off Jota, who thrives on a finish exactly like that, and that chance falls, and that's game over. We've lost at that stage. But what a miss! Jesus Christ! Like what goes on in that man's head? I have no idea. Like, he's obviously a very highly thought of striker, but that many misses and that type of miss, nah, not for me. I couldn't watch that every week. He would drive me insane.
I think he moves to another club. He's like, I don't know, there's just some people get in their own heads, and some people the club doesn't the club has done everything right by Nunes. That's not me having a go at the club. I think Liverpool are a good club that way. Like 2 managers have come in there and 2 managers have obviously seen what he's done. Put it this way. If Liverpool came in for Ollie Watkins and offered Darwin Núñez as part of the deal, I think Aston Villa would take him. Because I think he's respected by managers. I think fans would be tearing their hair out. I agree with you, Paddy. I think fans would be tearing their hair out. And Jesus Christ, if there was something along those lines, if something like that happened, I'd stay off Twitter for a week. I'd stay off Twitter for a fucking fortnight nearly, if that was the case, because
I might be handing back my season ticket if that's the case. I just couldn't. No way.
You know, it's look, it's I think it's I do think he's respected by other players. I think he's respected by managers. I think there will be lots of managers who will look at him and go, yeah, all you need to do is just get him home, because he was a very good striker for Benfica. Then he comes to Liverpool and look, he still scores goals, but just doesn't just obviously has those misses as well. Like you said,
has just finished work in Canada. Neil wants to know, worth finding a replay. The straight answer is yes. Go watch it.
Yes, it was a great game of football. It was like, if I was a neutral watching that, I would have gone, yeah, I was right to eat my wheel of blue cheese and sit down and watch football today.
Yeah. Funny because I was getting messages all throughout the game from Arsenal fans, so there's no doubt what Arsenal were watching tonight. And then as the game wore on, I was getting messages from Man City fans, so they'd obviously given up on their team at that stage. But
and just in case anybody thinks that I wasn't eating blue cheese, here's the proof.
Yikes!
There you go. You never know what I'd eat. I remember one day. I remember we beat United, and I put it all down to the fact that I had a black pudding sandwich at halftime. It's up on Twitter. We scored after I had a black pudding sandwich. So sometimes my culinary escapades at halftime in football matches do have a good effect.
Have you done it again since?
With the black pudding sandwich? No, never go back. I had duck eggs another day, and I remember we won. So keep an eye out for my Jamie Oliver moments. They could be the difference. Maybe I'm the reason we aren't in 4th place. Like, we all have to look at ourselves. Are we all doing what we should be doing? Are we all doing enough? Maybe I'm not. Maybe I need to eat more exotic things at halftime. Anyway,
Justo said no one should ever have to receive messages from City fans.
Your dad, Paddy.
my whole family are City fans. What could I, except for my mother? My mother did Liverpool, but she didn't message me. I doubt she even watched the match, but she didn't message me. But the City fans were messaging me towards the end of the game. All right, pushing us on for a winner. They must think their title chase is back on.
Maybe so. Yeah, we will see.
Maybe he thinks they were Birmingham City fans. Maybe that's what it was. Sorry, I should have been more clear. There were Man City fans that were messaging me.
Man City fans. Yeah. And contrary to belief in the chat, I didn't have a drink tonight. So people are saying, "Go to bed, Neil." No, I'm just giddy because it was a great game of football, and I do have an irrational love of cheese as well, which I can share more. I have a fridge full of cheese inside the house. I might bring out a lovely. I've got a nice gobean in there. Maybe that might be Saturday's halftime. We'll see. We'll see.
Enough for the cheese talk. Let's go watch the extra time.
I'll keep you abreast of the situation. Right, look, Villa come away with a 2-2 draw against top of the table and probably the best team in Europe at the moment. Well done, Aston Villa. Could have been more, but it wasn't. Onwards towards Chelsea and then on to Crystal Palace, lads. We'll see you again for a preview for the Chelsea game very, very soon. And then, look, it's thick and fast from here on out, and before you know it, we'll be back in the Champions League. The draw as well on Friday. Join us. We will do a live draw at 1 p.m. Well, I will anyway, Paddy. If you're stuck, that's fine too. Do a live draw to see whether it's going to be Dortmund or Club Brugge, and join us for that. But until then, everybody, go to bed, stay safe, stay healthy, and all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.